Guys, I'm bringing you in a little closer here. I wanted to show you what I actually did. I cleaned up all the shielding, as you can see. We cleaned up all the wiring. Everything is nice and neat. All the connections have been heat shrunk, which was awesome. So now we'll put this box together. One thing I really should mention, and I think you guys should know, it's important, is this is the wire coupler, or the heat coupler, I should say. I shielded it. It is a metal line. You know, should it cross over something and short out, it could make things pretty interesting. So shield it to protect yourself, okay? I'm gonna button this thing back up and we'll take it to the next step. Now, what you see here is this cloth. So what I do when I'm working on it at the final stages is I get a board and I get my clamps and I clamp the board at the bottom. Of course, a piece of cardboard so I don't ruin the box. Clamp the board on and I've got a good working ledge. This way I can work with all my wiring and keep everything nice and clean and organized. So now we'll tuck this thing back in and we'll plug it in and turn it on and see if everything's working. Well, guys, I got the control panel put back together. We're gonna do another test run. I've got my in lead clamped to the oven. That should work out perfect. We'll move on over here and just take a look. So burner 1 is on. Let's go back. Just make sure these burner 2 is on. Burner 2 is on. We'll give it a few seconds for it to warm up. Burner 2 is heating up. Let's go back. So I want to show you guys my fan. I just got a piece of paper here. That's blowing off. Nice clear air coming through that, which is awesome. So that'll keep the solid state relay cool. And let's turn the light on. And we've got light. And let's go up there and take a look. That's awesome. So I'm gonna go grab a temperature gauge and let's see what these coils are hitting out. Okay, so I've got my gauge. So we should be pretty close to 500. Where am I? I'm not hitting it. Hold on. $613. I'm not getting there's that 500. So you gotta hit the coil, but looking good. So we'll let that warm up for a few minutes. Then I'm gonna warm up my shop a bit and then shut her down. So guys, I got the oven moved over. We got the control panel all put back together, which is awesome. Did a test run, it worked out well. We need to get the top cap mounted. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do some pilot holes, and then we're gonna use some rib nuts to put them in, okay? Because we want this to sit properly. It's sitting flush, which is good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a hole right here. Oh, well maybe I gotta get a, hold on. Let me go get a punch, and we'll do that. So she doesn't travel everywhere. I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, perfect, but we want it to look half decent, so I'm just gonna put a punch right there, right in the middle of that 2x2 pipe. Should be good. Make sure that doesn't come flying at me.
So I'll do a pilot hole first. There we go. Let's do one on this side. Hoping you guys can see that. Perfect. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to upset this bit to allow the actual bolt to go in, and then I'll move it back and drill out the hole slightly larger so the rib nut can go in, and then we'll get the rib nut in. And we'll lightly put this side in, we'll spin the oven around, and we'll mark the other side and do the same process. Okay, we got that one in. What I'm going to do, so it doesn't travel, is we'll just put a nut in there for the time being. So it doesn't move around on me too much. It shouldn't. And do this side. There we go. All right. We should be good. Let's get the other bit. And we'll make it bigger. See if we can do that. And change the bit on this drill. All right. Let's move this back a bit. And we'll do that there. There we go. That's perfect. All right, let's put that rib nut in there. Set this guy up. There we go, that one's in nice and tight. Let's get the other one. The other one in. That should work out good. And then what we'll do is we won't tighten those ones in, guys. We'll just lightly put a couple threads in and we'll lift up the other side and do the same thing. And we should be good. That looks awesome. Now, should we need to take that off, we're able to do so, which is awesome. Okay, that's good. All right, so let's turn this oven around and we'll do the same process on the other side, and then we'll tighten her up. She's looking good. All right. Let's get the punch again. There we go. All right, let's draw up. Yeah, we did. All right, so let's get the bigger one out. So the second drill bit I'm using is the same width as the bolt, of course, and the third one is the same width of the rib nut. And then we'll lift that up and we'll get the one for the rib nut in there. Let's see how far I can lift it. Sure I can. I just need to be able to clear. Yeah. One's good. That one's good. All right, let's get that rib nut in there. I'll keep dropping stuff. All right, pick that up. Okay. That one's in nice. We'll get that one in and we should be good to go. And we'll just tighten those puppies in. And we won't have to worry about that lid anymore. Hold on a second. That's not all the way in. Now it is. And we're good. All right, let's put those bolts in there and see how it goes. I'll grab a ratchet and tighten those up. If I can find the right size. Everything's upside down in my toolbox. But think I got it. I do. All right. Let's get rid of that hammer. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. All right. Should use shorter ones back here, but that's okay. That'll work. Beautiful, guys. She's nice and tight. We'll tighten the other side, and we're ready to rock and roll to do some paint.
So guys, I got the oven prepped and ready for paint. And as you can see, I've got the shop completely covered in plastic so we can get this thing sprayed. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use an old camera. I don't wanna use a new one, of course, when I'm painting. So hopefully I can get some shots or some clips of me painting this thing. The mix ratio that I'm gonna be mixing for the oven is 3 parts high heat paint, 1 part acetone. So once that's done, we'll spray it and it should work out perfect. So I'll get the compressor turned on and we'll get ready to rock and roll. So guys, there you go. She's painted up. So we're gonna let that dry. She's looking pretty good. Let me open up the door a bit here. Still a little tacky. So we're gonna let her dry up. So next step is the gloss. So we've ordered it, or I've ordered it, and it's going to take another couple of days or so. But once the gloss is here, then we'll get that installed. What we'll end up doing is making a gasket that goes on the inside lip all the way around. And then we'll place it in, and then a compression plate that goes into the top and bottom that holds the gloss in place. I will definitely show you guys how I do that. It's actually quite simple. and it works really well. But there we go. Looking pretty good.
Okay guys, so paint's dried. We got the light back in, and we took the tape off of everything. I'm gonna get the coils back in now, and after we get the coils back in, then we'll put the latches on. I'll show you how I do that. We're waiting for the glass. It's almost ready to be picked up. So it's the holidays right now, so they're closed. But I can get some of this done, and then we'll get the glass put in. So let's get the coils back in and put those back where they belong. We got a little bit of overspray on them, so we'll get a little bit of sandpaper. I got some back here, I think. I got some back here. We'll just get a little bit of sandpaper and clean up those connections, just so they're good. So let's clean up these. Got everything ready for us to do so. We'll just sit back here and we'll pull these up. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm hoping. Oh, this one's okay. This connection's okay. So I've got these tucked here, and I had them numbered if you remembered. This is 2, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just put this up against it. Everything's pretty delicate. It was pretty cold out here when we were when I was spraying, so I'm going to just make sure this was the one that fits. And I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. I think so. Let me just make sure this one fits here. It's perfect. All right, so those are good. So let's get this hooked up. What's nice about the mounts is, if you remember, I painted it behind them, right? So everything is nice and clean back there. I don't have to worry about any corrosion or whatsoever, which is good. These coils, the tags or the little lips on the actual coil itself are bent actually away from the back of the oven, just to secure that it doesn't short out on the back of the oven. So let's get this guy on. Just push that tail back a bit. Hand tighten it first. We'll push that one back a bit. We're going to do the other one. That one's got a little bit of overspray on it. It's all right. Got it done. We'll just hand tighten them first, okay, guys, so you don't strip them. And try to keep them nice and straight. When I torque them down with my Phillips, or should I say my Star, and then correct myself again and say Phillips, but that's okay. That's just me, guys. You know what I'm actually using. There we go. Nice and tight. Just pull those up a bit. Okay. What we'll do is we'll mount the bottom ones down first. We got the same holes there, so we'll use the exact same holes that we've used, of course. Pretty straightforward. 1, and 2. And we'll tighten those up, and that should be good. Nice and snug. Just make sure she's nice and straight. There we go. We're good. Okay, so we'll do the other side. The other side, I know I've got a lot more overspray on, but we'll have to clean up those connections, but that's okay. I'll move this guy over. Let me just switch sides here a bit. Push these connections up. We'll get that little piece of sandpaper, and we'll clean it up. Let me get that pigtail out. Come on. There we go. Got a little carried away with the paint on that one. Get the screws off of this guy. Get that all mounted. Again, when you're looking at the coils, the pigtails are slightly bent forward. That's to ensure that it doesn't touch the back of the oven, okay? We'll tighten those up hand tight first. We're looking good. Tighten it. There we go. Try to keep them nice and straight. Okay, so let's get the bottom mounts in first. There we go. Actually, what we're supposed to do on the other one is put a washer first, then the lock washer. So we'll change that. I forgot. Washer, lock washer, and the nut, and we'll fix that one up. No big deal. Okay, where did put that? And we'll tighten this guy up. Make sure she's nice and straight. She's looking good. Take this one out. I'll put the washer back there. And then that's it for in here. Paint came out nice, guys. A little concerned about painting in this cold weather, but with the little heater I got and kept everything pretty warm, worked out quite nicely. Alright, washer, lock washer, and we'll put this guy back on. I know I'm being picky, but that's okay. I probably could have left it in one or whatever, known the difference. But that's okay. Let's just get it done. Right. Okay, guys, she's in there. So what I'll do is I'll bring you in a little closer so you can see how everything turned out in here. It's looking pretty good. Let me just clean up this stuff and take that out of there. Maybe what we'll do is let's put the racks back in first. The racks. You don't, because it's freshly painted, you don't want to be taking the racks in and out too often. We want it to cure for a couple of days anyway. I mean, the rails are going to get scratched regardless, but if we can let it cure for a couple of days before we're moving them in and out, it's probably the best scenario. There she is. She's looking pretty good, guys. So the next step is let's put on the latches. And then what I'll do is I'll do the seal once. Actually, maybe we'll do the seal now. Then we'll put the latches on. So let me grab the seal and then we'll go from there.
There you go, guys. Get you in a little closer to take a look. She came out quite nice. Very happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and we'll get the seal going.
So I got the seal out here for you guys. You guys saw this when I was actually doing the spacer for the door when we welded the hinges in. This stuff works really, really well. It's actually designed for barbecues. Withstands quite a bit of heat, which is awesome. And once it sticks, she's not coming off. So what we want to try to do is we're going to get the seal right over the actual screws that we got there. So what I like to do is to peel back a little piece in the corner and then get it started. And then once it's started, I will peel the backing off and try to keep it square as much as I can. It's a little bit of a challenge to get it started, but once you get it started, she's good. There we go. I got it. So just peel it back slightly. Well, let some of that out. So we'll move it to right about, I'm going to go a little bit further out. So I just pull that backing back as I go along and try to just kind of eyeball the spacing so it doesn't look horrible. You got to remember we got 2 inches to play with. And I'm just slightly tacking it in place right now. I won't push down on it until I'm ready. Move it back here a bit and we'll give it a cut with a scissor. Okay, so now I'll do this corner. And of course, we're going to go right to the edge. Over the screws, of course. So this was really important when I was welding the actual hinges in, that we had the right gapping. The material's pretty thick, right? We'll cut that bottom piece. There we go. I want just a tad crooked. I don't know if I have enough to do that, so we'll do the bottom, and then I have the other one we can do the longer stretch. All right. Nice. Pull that back. Just trying to keep the spacing as even as I can. Got a little bit of play to move things around when needed. As long as you don't push it down real hard, you should be okay. You push it down, it's going to be real hard to come off. It's looking pretty good. We'll cut that one off. And we'll cut the excess off, and we'll keep that for a rainy day when I'm doing the spacers again. All right, let's open this other one. We'll get that one on there. Peel this one back. And that's always the challenge. We're good. And we're going to line her up right there. That scissor. And the seal is complete. All right, looking good there, guys. Let me put this away. Get rid of all this garbage. And we'll go on next to doing the latches. Had a mental block there for a second.
So guys, this is what the actual latches look like. Those are the screws, and I used 3/4 inch metal screws. We'll drill, pre-drill, and then put them in. Let me open up this kit, and I'll show you how I lay them out on the oven.
This guy back up here for now. Okay, so I'm gonna get this latch. I'll show you where I'm gonna actually put them. So you know that the framing is 2x2 framing, so we've got lots of room. So we want to try to keep it in the center of the 2x2. So I'm going to put one just above, about 6 to 7 inches away from the top of the door, and then one not too far down, but right about maybe right about here. This way it's easier to keep that door nice and steady and closed. So what we'll do is let's mark this. And hopefully I can see that Sharpie, and I can, which is good. Put this back down, we'll get a punch, we'll pre-drill that, and that should be good. Let me get a hammer. I'll grab my drill. Try not to scratch everything up. All right, let's try it this way. Get that screw in there. Quite nicely. How is it? Okay. All right, that one's in, guys. we got to line up the top to make sure she sits properly. And then we can adjust that. So what I'll do is I'll grab the top piece, or the latch set that hooks onto the door. Basically it just hooks, you know, just like so. And we gotta get an idea of where we are, and we want that to be somewhat in the middle. There we go. So let me smack that, and let's see. I'm gonna hole drill through that. There we go. That should do it. And that goes like so, and then you adjust it as you need it. So we'll have to get an adjustment to that. I think it's 8 mil. I could be wrong, but let me double check. Just a little off there, guys. And these got the Teflon washers so they don't back off. So what you kind of do is you close your door, and then you adjust. So you've got the right tension on the door. And what you want to try to do is get the adjustment to be as even as you can when it comes to pulling the door closed, okay? So what I'm doing is just taking it piece by piece, slowly. And I'm getting that seal to sit nice and tight up against the actual oven. We're looking pretty good. Now we can fine tune that to where we want it to be. But it opens out of the way and it closes beautifully, just like so. Go a little tighter, I think. That's good. Okay. Try not to rub that, guys, because it will scratch the heck out of your finish. So we're going to get the other one down here, kind of around the same distance. I won't go too low to the ground. We'll put it right about here. This way it's not too hard to open and we don't have to bend down too far, and that should work out quite nicely. So let me get the other one in, and we should be good.
Okay guys, let me bring you in a little closer so you can see how I actually mounted these things. Okay, so there is an adjustment, which is right here. Okay, that's what I was tightening up with the ratchet. It's still a little loose. So like I said, they're gonna have to be adjusted. And they're just release. Like so, and they come off. Okay, they go back onto the latch, and they close. Of course, we've got the one at the bottom. And there she is. Which is looking pretty good. So, like I said, we're just gotta wait for this glass, and we'll get installed with a compression plate to hold the glass in place, and a gasket, of course. But we're almost there. So guys, we've got the glass that came in. It is 6 mil, high temp glass. See, I've got the holders on it, suction cups. So I went to go pick it up. The order came, which is awesome. So now we'll get this thing in. So what we're gonna do is, excuse my voice, I've lost my voice a bit. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the compression plate ready to rock and roll, and I'll show you guys how I do that. Okay guys, so I've got the sheet metal out. This was the actual piece that was cut out from the back of that door. So it's the right width, okay? So what I did is I pre-marked it here. So the angle iron was 1.5 inches. I went to 1.25 inches. Then I gave myself another space of 1.5 inches. Then I gave myself a 2-inch lip. So what I'm going to do is give myself a little bit of extra playroom. We will score that to bend it. So we're going to need something to score that. So that's important that we get that scored. So we'll go get the, I thought I had it out here. What did I do with it? I shall find it. It's probably back here somewhere. Huh, it's not here. All right. What we'll do then is use maybe a piece of angle iron. Grab a piece of angle iron. But I have, yeah, I got a piece. Okay, that'll work. All right, let's plug that in. We'll score it, and then we'll go from there and cut it. Okay guys, so I got that all marked out. So we're going to go ahead and clamp this to the workstation, and we're going to bend it.
let me open this door and show you guys. Hopefully I can open it far enough. Yeah. Oh, maybe. So visually what you can see here, that's going to go in there like that. Okay? And that should be perfect. It's looking pretty good. So what I want to do is make sure that none of that lip is actually showing. So what I'm going to do is get a Sharpie and just mark it and make sure. And if it is, I'll just grind down the edges a bit. No, minimal. So what we'll do is clean that up just a tad. Where's my floppy? There it is. We're good, guys. Just got to take this corner down just a tad more. Not by much, but just a tad. Nice. Okay, guys, I got the glass all prepped up, ready to rock and roll. I got all my sealants out. So I got an array of RTV silicone. So I'm going to use, I got some red, so I'll use the red up here because they'll be covered. And then I've got the black for the sides. Just going to try to use what I got, not to be wasteful. So the game plan here is to be very generous. So you want to get it in behind that seam. And quite a bit. And don't worry, you got time. So even if this thing leaks, it doesn't matter. If it leaks, let it be, and then you'll clean it up after it's dried, okay? So don't try to, clean it when it's all wet like that. You'll make a disaster. Let me grab an X-Acto knife or blade. Should be a lot more organized. Sorry. Cut this tip off. This one's empty. Put it on here. We're just trying to use up what I got. This is a new one, but that's okay. We'll keep it consistent. All right, a piece of paper towel, clean this. Oh. So I got sick over the holidays and I lost my voice and got a bad cough. Now the cough is kind of lingering and the voice is still raspy and high pitched. But what are you going to do? All right, let's see if I can get some of the dark one out of this one. So this is our TV, right? I'm hoping I still can squeeze some out of this one. Yep. So what I'm doing is just like an S formation. Right to the edge. All right, so let's pick up this glass. Now, one thing about this glass, if you guys can see it over here, you got to be real careful. I never trust these things. I still grab the glass just to make sure. I use this to put pressure on the glass. So what I do is I'll grab it, put it in place. Now we're going to lift. I got little pieces of wood as my spacers. See, they're already lifted. And we're going to lift. We got to go up a little higher. Not bad. Just a tad higher. Now these, of course, are not going to stay here, guys. They're just there temporarily. And then we just add pressure. Keep adding pressure. Keep working her. We don't have enough in that corner. It wasn't generous enough. It will be now, though. There we go. Two other corners were good. Okay. Seems to be pretty good. What we're going to do is, I don't even think I have to put, I don't. Spacers on that side, which is good. Okay, so let's grab another piece of paper towel. And we just keep pushing on that. And then what I'm going to do is, with my paint stick, I'm just going to go across the edge, guys, just to make sure that there's nothing sticking out. Now, if there's something that creeps up on the glass, don't worry about it, because we'll clean it up after. We just want to make sure we can get everything as neat as we can on the sides. And of course, try not to get it all over your hands, like I just did. All right, so we got a corner down there that's not good. Just add a bit there. I'm okay with that. All right, so we're going to give that a few minutes just to kind of start to set. Usually it takes up to about 45 minutes to actually get a half decent stick. But she's looking pretty good. Of course, the pieces of wood, they'll be removed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off the glass, because now we don't really need that suction on the glass at the moment. We'll just leave that here. It's pretty stable. It shouldn't go anywhere. Now, if you're uncomfortable, by all means throw some tape on it, okay? To kind of hold it in place. But honestly, it's like working with Play-Doh. When you stick it, she sticks. Most of the time. All right. We're going to leave that alone for a few minutes. We'll let that dry. Once that dries slightly, then we'll put the plates in. We'll mark them, we'll slice them, and we'll move forward. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, guys, so it's been sitting for about 45 minutes or so. So let's put this plate in. As you can see how I'm doing it. And then I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to mark the top. Okay? And that's where we'll score it. There goes my voice again, guys. I apologize again. Well, let's clamp that to the table. I'll get the thing out and we'll get the wheel out and we'll score it. Just so she doesn't go nowhere. And we'll get the angle iron again. Pretty well. There we go. We'll give that a score. So what I'll do is I'll move this bench more this way. Let's see if I can get a better angle for us here to see what I'm doing. And I shall put my safety glasses on. That one's going to be slightly in the way, isn't it? Okay, we'll get rid of that one. Okay, there we go. So I have got it scored, as you can see that, and we'll get that bent. Let me just mark where I've got it scored. There. And we shall clamp it into place, and then we'll start bending that down. And that should work out perfectly. Just making sure I got it set up right. And I think I do. One. There we go. All right, let's see if we can get this thing to bend. Not bad. Just trying to get it to come down a bit. Looking pretty good. I'll show you kind of where I'm at. That's kind of how she sits. Just like so. And that'll slide underneath, and that'll sit up against the glass. And I'm pretty sure I can get that in there. There goes my voice again, guys. I sound ridiculous. That's going to work. Not bad. Why do I feel like we're... Not bad. So let's see if I can get that to bend just a tad more. I wonder if that'll fit better at the bottom. Let's try that. Not bad, not bad. Not bad. We just got to make sure that this has got enough space in it. There we go. Should be okay. Make sure that goes in. Yeah, it's nice and tight. Yeah, I should do it. Of course, I'll tap that up into place, but she's looking pretty good. And of course, it'll add compression to it, okay? So we're good. So what I gotta do is, this has gotta come out a little bit. I'm gonna bend that out just a tad, and then we'll get her up. And it's gonna be painted. So, I need this to be out a bit. Okay, not bad, guys. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut this a little bit shorter, or should I just leave it? I think I should leave it. What I'll do is I'll loosen those two screws and I'll pop them in and then tighten it. And it should be okay. We want it to be snug. Did we ever get it snug? I'm not going to be able to get it out. Hold on. Wow. All right. Okay, so that one's good. I will get this one painted, and then we'll get the other one started up. We'll mark the bottom. Where can I put this? I'll put this here for now. And let's mark up the other one. I'm going to try to take those pieces of wood out, and hopefully it's set enough that it's not going to go nowhere. I think we're good. We are good. Okay. So this one will be marked. There we go. She's marked. think that should work out, guys. I think we're good. We are. Perfect. Okay, so I actually like how that one's fitting better than the other one. I wonder how this one will fit up here. No, that one's going to fit up beautifully up here. All right. Yeah, we'll use the other one. The other one for the bottom. Okay. So we're going to clear everything off this counter and we're going to paint it. And once we paint it, then we'll get them on there and we should be good. Okay, some high heat paint. Hopefully you guys still can see what I'm doing. Now what's nice about this stuff is it dries pretty quick. And we'll give it a Could I leave it without these braces? Yeah, I could. Would I recommend it? No, I wouldn't. Especially with the larger sight glass. All right, we'll let that dry. And then we'll proceed to install it and drill some holes. But we're getting there. Okay guys, so we've got one of the braces ready to go. We'll get the top one on. Before we do that, I'm going to put some black felt, the same heat stuff or heat sealant that I put around the outside of the oven. So we'll grab that and we'll put that around the edges. So that's the part that's going to be pushing up against the actual glass. So we'll make sure that that stays on nice and it doesn't scratch the glass. Of course, I gave it a shot of high heat paint. My voice seems to be getting worse by the minute. And I'll give you a close-up of what that looks like. Just trying to put that on there. There we go. Let me grab a scissor. Okay, I had one out. There it is. That's what happens when you don't put stuff away, guys. So there you go. Okay, and that goes up against the gloss. So this one's going to go right here. Like so. And we'll use a rubber mallet and lightly tap. We got to go that way a bit. We'll get a little, I have a small pry bar if I can find it. Just don't want to touch the glass. Okay, that's not fitting in there. Let me see if I can get try to get it in as even as we can. There we go. She's in. So, do we have to put a screw? No, we don't. I'm going to. So I'm going to put one here and one here. Just a light tack, hold it in place. And she'll secure that glass from coming forward or moving or doing anything funky on us. And I think that's going to work out quite nicely. This one's too short, but we'll add a piece to that and use that up. Actually, I'll save that for when we're doing the spacers. But yeah, let's get the other one on. Now the other one, I got to give it another coat of paint because I scratched it, but that's okay. We'll give it another shot of paint quick, and I'll put it by the heater so she'll dry up quick. And then we'll screw those in. But it's nice and neat. It just looks real finished that way. Okay, so let's paint this side here. I've been trying to drink lots of hot teas and coffees. I'm trying to keep my my throat lubricated with some coffee. My wife thinks that's a huge excuse for me to drink coffee, but anyway. It might be. Canadians and their coffee, guys. Especially ethol Canadians. Can't live without it. Totally addicted. All right, so we'll let that dry for a few minutes, and then we'll get the bottom one in, and we'll get the drill out. Okay, guys, this one's almost 100% dry. We'll get that seal on, and then we will put it in. Then I'll get the drill. Hopefully you guys can see that. We're looking good. All right, let's put this away, and let's tap that into place. Hopefully that one goes as smooth as the other one went. It should. Perfection. All right. So let's get a marker. We know we're roughly 21. Well, we're about 20 and a half. So we need to be 10 and a quarter. The center there. 10 and a quarter. We'll do 5 and 5. 5, and 5. Okay, let's put a couple of screws in there. I'll go grab them. Well, this cold of mine is getting to me. Okay, let's see. Move this back just a bit. Grab some screws, guys. Wrong one. Right one. All right, so we need a drill bit. Star screwdriver. Phillips, guys, sorry. I know I always say star. Just a habit. All right. And we need a punch.
So there you go, guys. I've got the tape on. I put the seal all the way down, both sides. That's what the compression plate looks like. So we're gonna let that set up a little bit, and then I will take the tape off and let it dry. So it takes a good about 40 minutes or so to set up. We'll let that happen. Now you're gonna see out here, let me close this up a little bit. I'm sorry, I'll get you guys dizzy here for a second. So you're gonna see you got some silicone kind of sneaking through the sides. Once that's 100% dry, I will cut that off and then reseal in here, okay? Freehand. And she's there to go. She's all done. So we'll let that dry and then I'll show you what it looks like. So guys, my order came in finally. I know that I was talking about it with you guys earlier. So this is in order to make the feet for the oven. So basically what we're gonna be doing here is we've got casters on there now, but it doesn't stay on there. We use them just to roll around in the shop. But that's kind of what the feet look like. We weld them up, clean them up, and then they're adjustable, of course, right? If you remember the earlier on in the build when I did the frame, we had these in the actual 2x2 at the bottom, and those will screw in there. So let me get those welded up and I'll show you.
Okay, guys, so I've got it. I got them all welded. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean them up and I'll show you what they look like. Actually, let me get a pair of safety goggles just in case. Actually, these are my welding gloves. We don't want to be using those. If I can find my other ones, that would be nice. There we are. So what I did is basically did a full weld on the inside. Try to build it up a little bit to fill in the void from the washer. Welded around the edges first and then filled it up. Alright guys, so let's give this a shot of paint. So what I like to do is not too much on the actual threads, but more so the bottom section, and then we'll flip them around and we'll do the bottom. I know once you drag it a few times it'll go away, but that's all right. A little bit. Slight dusting. We'll just give it a shot of paint this way they don't rust. There we go. And what I'll do is I'll turn the heater on. And that should heat that up. There we go. We'll let that dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to head back to the actual oven, and we're going to get the front glass all figured out. All right, so the game plan here, guys, is that we're going to cut this extra silicone that's sticking out. Excuse me once again with this cough. Anything that's sticking out, we just slightly cut it. Then what I'll do is I'll clean everything up. Then we'll reapply. And then of course we'll clean the inside later. But she's looking pretty good. And now we can throw the seal around the edges. We'll let that dry for a few minutes. Make sure that none of that spray is there. And once it dries, we'll go ahead and we'll put it through. So guys, I got the glass all cleaned up. It looks pretty good. It is still a little tacky, so I'm going to let it dry. I'm not going to rush it, but I got rid of most of the excess that was on the glass on the outside, which is good. So I think I'm going to call it at this point. The videos are getting real long, so we're going to try to keep it somewhat reasonable. But it's done pretty well. I mean, some final touches, which is not a big deal. We're going to just do the silicone on the outside, clean up the glass on the inside, and she's ready to go. So what will happen next, of course, is we'll put the oven through a test run. Usually when I do a test run, what I do is in the beginning, I turn the oven on, I heat it up, I let it get to about 200 Fahrenheit, and then I shut it down and let it cool off completely. And then I do that again, and I'll bring it up to 300 Fahrenheit, and then let it cool completely. And why I'm doing that is try to bake the paint on the inside of the oven. Make sure that it's heating up and cooling nicely. Then once I've done that a few times, it'll stink a bit because of the paint, right, that it's baking. Once that's done a few times, then what we'll do is we'll shoot some powder. I'll take out my Eastwood gun, and we'll shoot some powder, and we'll do a test run and make sure that it's working. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this segment. Please consider subscribing and throw me a like. Thanks for watching.